Good evening, welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. We are playing episode 6 of Hell's Heart tonight. It's titled The Ghost Ship. So we have 4 players today. Unfortunately, Sean, our beloved captain, Captain Claw, is going to be missing out on the next couple of sessions or so while he takes care of some important business. So we wish you the best, Sean, and look forward to having you back as soon as you're able. So, without further ado, Justin, I believe you volunteered to do the recap of last session, which I'm really looking forward to because I have no idea what happened.
Certainly. And yeah, we did a lot of stuff. Early on we identified that we have a new salute, the Claw. And shortly thereafter, we learned there is no bar called the Leaky Teat. It's called the Milky Teat. And but our captain caroused the hell out of Tortuga, and he got a massive payout and then payoff for his carousing. Unfortunately, though, Dom had a little interference with his carousing, and he ended up getting thrown in the clink for a bit. And then also, while carousing, there was talk of a rich man on the near Tortuga, sugar man, plantation man named Marquis de la Verde. And there was a lot of talk about who to rob next going on at that point in the game. A lot of back and forth, different targets being suggested. And in short order, on our ship, we were met by a Dutchman named Van der Veen. And he had a whole slew of men with him. He wanted to parley, but he was, of course, shot, clawed, and ultimately drowned. And we nearly lost Ron in that combat. And we tried to track down a possible ship for Van der Veen, but could not find one. Tortuga's full of ships, and he may not have even had a ship for all we know. And but there is Silvers did confront Ron about with suspicions of gender, which way here or there, and while Ron was recovering still below 0 hit points. Also, it was chosen that we've just picked a man, a lowly crewman that we were going to make walk the plank later on as an example to our men, so that hopefully they'll act better in combat at future times. And we ordered some flags, and we went and picked them up. Of course, while out looking for these flags, there was a tribal woman named Helen Marie approached our captain, and she spoke of the tribal town being sacked. She really wanted to speak to Bledsoe. And over the course of that session, maybe a half dozen people really wanted to talk to Bledsoe, but Captain Claw had to turn them all aside. And ultimately, our captain was robbed, and Dom was able to tell that somebody probably came in through the hatch. And I believe he was relieved of his map. The treasure map? Yeah.
They came in through the back windows, the windows that face out the back of the ship and the captain's quarters.
And Dom, he was able to develop street connections looking into this when we went into Tortuga. And with Robert, we put a name to this emblem we found, the Dutch West India Company. They're in the area, but we don't think they have offices or any buildings that we could go to, but they're definitely around, and a player in the area now. And then Silvers and Dutch led a team of men out to the sacked village of the tribals, and using a grid system and a stone servant conjured from a dark portent of magic, we were able to eventually, over quite a few days, I think, find the treasure with a series of these grids and tunneling with this stone servant. And also, meanwhile, Ron did showed the captain that he is a she. And then, but shortly after that, Dutch and Silvers and the men returned with glorious treasure and three or four, a bunch of old wine bottles that are stowed away currently. And ultimately, that Marcus character that we just plucked as to make an example out of the crew, we did make him walk the plank, and we had some target practice as well. And maybe we identified a couple sharpshooters. I got a couple names I just made up: Dobbs and Jackson. Maybe they were some crack shots. But and then the capstone for the session was a dream that Captain Claw had, Bledsoe mocking him from beyond the grave, holding his own head, and in a rage, our captain, in his dream, he had a reformed arm, and he bore witness to a ship battle going on. He was pinned below water by a mast, and he sees 3 red lines as he wakes up, and I think that's more or less where it ended off.
Yeah, pretty much. I think you got all the important parts of it. I don't remember anything beyond that stands out. I do remember, of course, that you guys covered the crewmen in fish guts before you made them walk the plank so as to attract the sharks.
One thing, Captain Claw's demon arm, it did grow throughout the course of the episode as well. So
yes.
He's almost at maybe the time when a hand might even grow. He's got at least a bendy bit.
Yeah, it's grown past the elbow last time we checked, so I'm just trying to look. I think I had somewhere here. I think this might be it. Yep, my notes are a mess. I really need to be more organized. And here you go. I found the stats on your ship as well, I think. So, yeah, last we knew he had a little bit past the elbow, so over 50% of an arm grown back. And it was continuing to grow, but it had that weird, like reddish black flesh on it. It doesn't match with the rest of his own personal flesh. You know what I mean? So it's something strange going on with it. Of course, we all know that that's started to grow ever since he ate the flesh ball that the voodoo priestess had puked up. You're disgusting, Sean, just so you know. But yeah, okay. So you guys had set sail for the Bahamas with the interest of trying to interrupt trade coming from Florida and the Bahamas down to Port Royal, the new English capital in Jamaica. And that's pretty much where we left off. He had the dream as you guys were setting sail for the Bahamas and maybe up to Florida or somewhere around there to see what kind of harassment you guys could give to the English and perhaps get a bigger ship. I'm trying to remember the status of your crew. How many crewmen did you have left after that last session?
I don't think we actually lost any Marines with Van der Veen. But we didn't even get a shot off. They all just panicked and scrambled around for the first couple of rounds.
So I think you had 36 crew members in. You had 30 pirates and 6 Spaniards.
-1.
Okay.
We killed that one.
Oh yeah, Marcus. Yeah,
right.
We made a random bloke walk.
29 pirates, Spaniards. Spaniard turncoats. Spaniard's gone pirate. Okay. That sounds about right. Let me just double check this. Silver's, is your armor class still 14? Oh,
yep.
This is old.
Yeah, it is.
This has Jack's name on it. So that's really old. Okay. So Silver's AC 16.
No, silver should be 14 AC.
Or is it 14? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't mind me. Dom, what was your armor class?
Oh, he just went off to the kids calling him. But Dutch has 12, though.
Ronald, Anna Ronald.
12.
What will I call you? Am I still calling you Ronald for now?
Yeah.
I presume? Okay. Ronald has an armor class of 12. And Dutch.
Also 12, unarmored.
Okay. Good to know. Excellent. So you have set sail northwest of Tortuga, heading into the Bahamas. This will take you past several tons of small islands along the way, which I can't really even read too well from looking at this map. It's so small. But as you're heading up, and it's going to take you a good, it'll take you a good probably 4 days to get into the Bahamas proper. Maybe even 5 days to get to, say, Nassau. 6 to 7 days to get to the Grand Bahama, or maybe about 7 days or a little more to get to Florida. However, Captain Claw has taken ill, very ill. His arm has been bothering him. It's causing him a lot of pain. He's been drinking very heavily. Those of you who are closest with him, Silvers, and perhaps Ronald, might know that he's also suffering from horrible nightmares every night. He's not sleeping well. As such, he is feeling extremely moody and spending most of his time in his cabin, hungover or drunk, or both, pretty much most of the time. So as such, who was the first mate? Was that you, Mr. Silvers?
Yar.
So you are in charge of the ship during his illness.
Yar, as it should be. So, first thing I'm going to do is walk out, and I'm going to go to you, Dutch. And Silvers is going to say, "The captain be in a foul mood. We're to head to the Bahamas still, but we're to make better time. If we can't get these men making the trip faster, we're going to have to perform random beatings."
Aye, as well, sir. And Dutch will give a quick blow of his whistle, and he'll make sure he just sees a guy running up the rigging, I suppose, and he just tells him, "Double time there." And I can run the men through some drills, keep them tight, a tight ship, running straight, Bahama bound, treasure bound.
You absolutely can. Go ahead and give me a leadership roll, Dutch.
Can do. And I have nothing in the skill.
Okay. So you have
sorry,
5.
so that's a 5. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're drilling them and you're trying, but they're not improving.
Mr. Silvers will watch,
Unfortunately.
and he'll say to Dutch, "Aye, they're sandbagging, Dutch. Give one a random beating."
And Silvers didn't even finish what he was saying, and Dutch is laid into the midsection of the slowest of these guys doing the drilling. And he gives him 2 swift shots to the gut.
He drops to his knees.
And Dutch just looks to the rest,
Coughing.
and he blows his whistle, and he says, "Again!" And he sends him back up the rigging with rope and just doing various naval activities.
Okay. Mechanically, what I'm going to say that'll do is that's going to give you kind of an artificial or superficial, to an extent, +1 to your actual roll because because of the example of violence. I'm not going to make you roll again. I'm just going to add 1 to your roll of 5. So that will be enough, and they will start to show improvement then over the next several drills. Slowly but surely, they are actually getting better.
And whenever the guy gets up from his thunderous blows to the gut, Dutch will just send him back to keep drilling until they're done. The guy that he dropped with the shot.
Yeah, very good. Mm-hmm.
Look to Silvers, and, well, no doubt with time and work and enough brute force, these men, they'll be seamen like the rest of us.
Silvers nods agreeingly. Yes, good Dutch. I'm going to go have a word with the rest of the crew. Looks like we're going to make good time.
Claw.
Salute of the claw. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll
So
go to Dom next, I guess. Sorry, continue.
no, that's fine. You go ahead. I was just keeping track of some things. Are you there yet, Clay? Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay. What's your armor class, real quick?
I think it's right here. Armor class is 14. I've got the petticoat and the helm.
Cool.
Or the butt
Okay,
coat.
good.
Butt coat.
It's called a buff coat, not a butt coat.
Buff coat.
Buff coat, yeah.
Robert the Red wishes he was wearing a butt coat, though. For his first battle.
But I guess it's a 12. I don't have that currently on.
That's fine. Silvers, you were going to address Tom. I apologize. Didn't mean to interrupt them.
Yep. No, that's cool. Yeah, I'll find you, Dom, and I'll basically say, "Hello, Dom. I've just come for a report."
You see Dom, he's at his makeshift desk with all his counting equipment, extra, I guess, supplies. And he hands you a rolled up scroll. And it's a bill for all the wasted ammo shot that you and Dutch have been using. These guys that can't shoot worth a damn. That's my report. And it's listed everybody that shot, how many shots they shot, and how much it'll cost to replace it. I'll leave that in your capable hands, sir, for a replacement.
I'll make sure the claw sees this, and I'll stick it underneath my armpit, and then I'll say, "On to another matter. I just spoke to Mr. Dutch, and we're going to be running the men through more drills, and I just look at you to see your expression."
He about passes out. He's starting to tear up a little bit, Misty. This shit sucks.
And then he's going to say, "Well, what I'm actually asking you is I want us to dole out an extra 1/8 ration of rum per day to the men, so I don't overheat them."
You want to waste alcohol on these people that can't fire a gun?
We're going to make sailors of them yet. Trust me.
He marks it down on his pad. Is there any other wasted expenditures I can expect, sir?
That will depend. Depend on if anybody goes to try to see the captain. We might have to pay some missing limbs if they do.
Understandable.
You know, missing limbs cost 800 silver apiece.
He's just wanting to get Silvers out of his office with all this bad news. Sir, anything else I can help you with? Do you want my sister? And then he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. That it would be rude of me. I don't know if I have one."
He looks around. Is there anything valuable that's just kind of like sticking out?
Nope. He's got all the bottom feeding, all the bad food, extra stuff. If someone came in, he could offer him a small bribe with some stuff. But other than that, all the valuables are locked up.
All right. So he'll say, "Good job, Dom. And once again, I'll make sure the captain gets this when he's well." And I'll kind of dangle it over my shoulder as I walk out.
Very good.
And I'll probably go into the other room and stick it behind a barrel. Kind of dust my hands of it and walk up the stairs and go look for Ronald.
He's down by the cannons, carving names into them, having a great time.
So Mr. Silvers will approach and he'll say, "So a little birdie told me he did, that you had a word with the captain."
Yeah, I did. And I won't tell the crew. Not now. Not without the claw present.
And I'll lean up against one of the masts and look at you whimsically and say, "Honestly, I'm a bit surprised you're still alive. Thought the claw might do you in."
Well, I seem to have some worth for him. He sees my
nods.
skills.
Hmm. Just remember, the longer we wait, the more betrayed the men are going to feel. And he raises an eyebrow.
Well, maybe, but the claw can't defend me now, so I won't tell them. And he scowls at Silvers. She scowls at Silvers.
He says, okay, stay out of the captain's cabin, though, Ronald. He's not doing well, and I wouldn't like any more strain to be put on him than we've already seen.
Aye.
Mr. Dutch, since you spend most of your time on deck, you're the bosun, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Would you roll a d6 for me and tell what you roll?
Okay. I got 2 there.
You got a 2. Okay. So the weather has gotten pretty poor here. This is only your second day out of Tortuga. It's raining, it's cloudy, it's windy. It's slowing you down a bit, unfortunately, just because of the inclement weather. It's not, nothing endangering the ship or anything. It's just hindering the smooth operation, if you will. It's not the kind of storm that's going to tear your sails or knock down a mast or anything like that. But it's not pleasant. Roll another d6 for me, please, and tell me what you get.
Can do. That is a 6.
That's excellent. Okay. You don't have a d30, do you?
No, sir.
All right, I'll roll. Okay.
Man the cannons. No. Okay.
Well, there is a ship spotted. In fact, there are 3 ships spotted by the man in the crow's nest. He calls out. He says, 3 ships off of the starboard bow. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. And he's kind of pointing out, they look like they're in trouble, sir. They're not handling the storm very well.
And,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Oh, I was going to say, Dutch will just echo what he said, but he'll, boom it out, "Ship's ho!" And he'll blow his whistle, and if anybody's below deck well, he'll make sure the first mate, at least, is his first. If he has to go below deck, he'll go to get him. But,
I imagine the whistle does a good job. Everybody can hear that. Everybody's awake anyway, so.
excellent.
Yeah, Silvers will run over and throw his leg up on the edge of the ship and pull out his long phalanx spyglass and look and see if he can identify significant damage on the ships.
They don't look significantly damaged, but there are 3 what I would call war canoes, if you will. The tribal people sometimes use them to raid settlements and things of that sort.
Oh, so Mr. Silvers will pop it back and throw it into his side sheath and say, "Tribal canoes they be, incapable of defending themselves. Let's go destroy them, and perhaps we'll find some booty they've recently plundered."
And, yeah, Dutch will, he'll pipe on his whistle and call out for the appropriate course change to be made, or maybe he'll go to the wheel himself
Mm-hmm.
and start having
Sure.
the proper sail alterations needed. I don't
Of
know.
course.
And,
Yeah, we don't have to get into the technical lingo of it. That's fine. So yeah, you're calling out your orders, and you take the wheel yourself, probably because the helmsman's an idiot, and you can do better than him. So, or at least that's what you probably tell him. And as you kind of set course to head towards these 3 war canoes, you can see one of them is like half sunk already. It's taken on a lot of water in this storm, and they've made the mistake of being caught too far offshore in this particular weather. These ships are all smaller than your own ship, mind you. You reckon they couldn't have more than, let me see here. Yeah, what's the maximum capacity on your ship is 60? Okay, yeah. Technically, if they were packed to the brim, They can hold about 50 people. These ships actually do look packed to the brim, except for this particular one is down about half of its numbers. So you reckon there's about 20 to 30 people on deck. And they're frantically trying to bail water out of the boat that's starting to tilt to one side and is taking on too much water. The other two boats, seeing you guys approach, turn and they try to run, leaving their friend behind. So they're going to try to get away from you.
Dutch, spinning the wheel into action, he'll call out to Silvers, "Shall we plunder these easy, low-hanging fruit or set chase?"
I'm going to quickly pull out my spyglass again and look since we're closer now. Do I see barrels or chests or anything in the wreckage of the sinking ship?
No, you don't.
I will say, offer them no succor or attack. Chase those men. They flee because they have something we want.
And quickly, with a spin of the wheel and then a grab it in place as he steadies the course to start pursuing these two.
Okay, since you're giving the orders and you've taken the helm, I want you to roll a seamanship skill for me.
So I rolled a 2 and I got a +3. But I think, am I going for a 6 or a 1? Sorry.
Nope. You want to roll high in
Okay.
the weakness version, yeah.
So I only got a 5, so that's a fail.
Well, no, this was a contested roll, so don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you're gaining on them. You're gaining on them for sure. What's your plan of approach?
In Dutch's mind, he knows he wants the wind to still be viable and at his back, so he can, if possible, to choose whether to go left or right if need be, as the approach closes in. But,
are you going to approach in a manner as to unload cannon shot, or do you just want to try to kind of catch up with them and go for a quick boarding?
And as we're approaching, Dutch would look to Silvers. What's our next course of action? Shall we set to board immediately? Doesn't look like they have any would have any cannons themselves on there.
Actually, they do.
Well, they do.
Yep, they have about 4 cannons each.
I'll say, open up on them on the port side. Get them in range of the long nines and shoot.
Excellent. And so immediately at that, Dutch will he'll reel around so that the proper port side is now facing, and he'll call out to the men to get the proper men to get below deck and prepare a volley. Or are the cannons on deck?
No, the cannons are below deck. Yeah, you've got a level below deck that the cannons are on, immediately below deck. And I'd say your gunner, Ronald, is already down there probably getting the guns ready and getting his cannon crew ready. Let's see, you have 10 guns, right? 5 to a side. You'd want to have 2 men on each gun at least, so you're looking at probably having more than half of your crew down here on the gun deck. So, gunnery officer, Ronald, you have your men are being, the ship is being turned to take a port side broadside at the enemy canoes. I will let you give the orders and make the rolls.
Are we close enough now? Or
Yes,
are we still approaching?
You're close enough. You've been kind of chasing them for a few minutes, and you are within cannon range.
Okay. So you hear some cheering from below deck. Okay, shoot now. Boom! And she seems to have a great time below deck.
So you're going to... sorry?
I've got 5, right? 5 cannons.
Yeah, 5 cannons. So how did I do this for you? You roll a d20 and you add your...
firearms.
Yeah, your firearms thing. That's right.
12 and 18, that's it, I guess. 13.
Hits.
And 19.
And 19. Is that 5 rolls?
Yeah, the first one was a 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you got 4 hits.
Yeah.
Okay, so you unload 4 out of 5. 80% of your shots actually hit this the trailing canoe. Go ahead and roll 4d6 for your damage.
11.
What'd you
11.
get? Sorry?
Mhm.
Oh, 11. Okay. So you blow the shit out of this thing. You see a few men go overboard. The ship starts to list a bit. It's still going, but it's taken more than half of its hull points of damage anyway. It's not in good shape. Another volley like that would probably sink it. So I presume you give the order, the men immediately start to reload the cannons.
Mm-hmm.
And back above deck, Dutch, you have the helm. Of course, Simon Silvers, you are on deck as well. So if you want to change the orders, you can bark orders, whatever you want to do.
Nope. All I'll say is keep them within range of the 9s. We'll abuse our superiority.
Their 2 cannons go off. And this, and that one will hit. And the other one will also fire. It's a miss and a miss. A miss twice. So 1 out of their 4 shots from the 2 ships, 2 from each ship, will actually hit. And that will do 4 hull points of damage to your ship. So you feel that, Dom, as a cannonball rips through part of your ship, and you hear the cracking of wood, and you can hear the expenditure of coin for repairs just whisking away.
Dom will slam his paperwork off his desk and storm up after grabbing his helm and coat, just cussing the shitstorm. If a sailor walks in, he'll smack him around a little bit and continue on.
And you hear Ronald from below deck screaming, "Can we shoot again? Can we shoot again?"
No, damn it!
It takes 2 minutes to reload your guns. So if you want to shoot again soon, you'll have to turn the other side to the ship. But hold on 2 seconds. I gotta turn off the laundry machine.
So maybe knowing that's the quickest way to get the 9s firing again, Dutch will he'll pipe on the whistle and say, "Prepare the starboard side," and he'll start reeling the boat around so that that side's facing.
Aye.
Yeah, good idea.
But we don't want to sink them, do we? We want to get the whatever they've got.
There's
On
2 of them.
Silvers wants to cripple the shit out of them. If they sink, preferably we'll get something, but they do actually have a decent amount of people on guns, so better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did we regain some hit points? I'm on 3. That's a bit disturbing.
Okay. Now,
Ian,
yes.
important question. Did we regain some hit points? Now that we're fighting? That's that might be helpful.
Oh, your own hit points?
Yeah.
Here's an important question. Were you below half hit points?
Oh, yeah.
Then you have not recovered any.
Okay.
Ooh, none?
No, you would need an entire day's rest to get 1 hit point back if you're below hit points.
But,
So if you're on deck working, you're not resting.
But we've sailed for 7 days.
No, you haven't. This is only your second day out of Tortuga.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, shit.
I wasn't sure about the days. That's why I didn't ask.
That's okay.
But all we did, Ian,
anybody who had more than half hit points could have recovered 1 hit point just from sleeping for the night. So
all we did was we decided Dutch called out and he said, "Prepare the starboard side," and Dutch began reeling the ship around so we could take a quicker shot.
Excellent. Yep, that's good. Yeah, by the time you get turned, kind of I guess it'd be about 180 degrees or something along those lines. The port side would be half loaded anyway, so you can do that and turn and fire. Now they're still trying to get away from you, trying to make distance, so they are not going to get a return shot this round. So the starboard side comes around about a minute later, Ronald.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which ship are you firing on? The wounded one or the other one?
What did you say? How many hit points did it lose?
It's badly damaged. It's lost more than half of its hull points.
Does Silvers give an order?
Yeah, definitely destroy the wounded one.
Okay.
And Dutch Blues Wesley would have said something like, send them to hell.
Oh. A 1? That's bad, isn't it?
That is bad.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you how bad in a minute, but go ahead and make the rest of your rolls.
19, 9, 11, and 4.
Wow, so you got one hit that time.
Mm,
Okay, roll d6 for the damage with the one that you hit with.
1.
Okay. 1. So on deck, Simon, you can see after you gave the orders to sink the damaged ship, the cannons all go off, and one cannonball just kind of skims the top of its deck, maybe takes out one crew member.
Damn it! Damn it! Guys!
Dutch
And
will say to Silvers, there'll be beatings to go around. That crew down there, there's a few like that Marcus chap.
just for a note, if it comes to an initiative situation for this combat, you will all have disadvantage on initiative, okay? Meaning roll twice and take the worst result.
Silver
Okay.
says to Dutch, yeah, and it'll be Ronald that'll have to clean up this mess. He'll have to dish out the beatings.
Of course, Claw. And then, but he's still holding the wheel fast.
Now, let's make another seamanship check there, Justin.
Can do. Yeah, 5 plus 3, so 6.
Okay, yep, you're still managing to kind of maintain, because you keep turning, you're not really gaining on them now, but you're maintaining distance. They're not getting away.
We're
So
probably going right into the weather too, right? Like it's...
Not quite, no.
Okay.
You're kind of going away from the wind. They've definitely got the wind to their backs because they're trying to get away from you.
Okay.
But yeah. If you can, let's see here. So are you turning the port side then again, or changing tactics?
Since we're chasing, I'm going to say to Dutch, stay out of the range of their cannons until ours are reloaded. We might be able to jump in and snipe out that remaining ship before they get a shot off.
So you could try to put a little distance between you and them while finishing reloading. Okay, roll another seamanship check.
So that's a 2 plus 3, so only 5.
Okay. The lead ship starts to pull away. The other ship, however, does not. So you can get it's only about a minute, and then the port cannons are loaded. Going to try to gain on them again and then fire. So one more time, roll a seamanship check for me.
So that's 6.
Okay, if you're able to close in a bit and get back within cannon range. Actually, your lookout will call out. They're throwing up the white flag.
Silvers will say, aye, we accept their surrender. Prepare to board.
And
Okay.
yeah, Dutch will call out for grappling hooks and boarding planks and the like, and have the sails properly like let down a bit, or what's needed for running up on a ship.
Yep, you'll be able to pull up alongside, and you'll see there are about 20 frightened Indians on this war canoe. They had 4 cannons on deck. One of the cannons is looks like it's been destroyed, so they only have 3 now working. Although they're not loading them or anything, they are surrendering. They'll allow you to board. The other ship sails well out of view.
I need to yell to Dom. Dom, where is my favorite quartermaster? Join me on the deck.
Dom will make his way up after he's put his count in on how much shot we've spent. And he looks beat. Yes.
I need a
Mr.
quick
Silver?
assessment. What is the value of what we can take from that ship?
Cannons are good. That'll recoup what we've lost in this little volley of stuff. He'll also look at what the hold is having.
Yeah, so you board and check out, and the hold, all they have is some food. They have about 20 rifles and some spears and like hatchet type weapons. A little bit of shot and powder.
He'll tell the sailors that came over, take this, and sink it, or ask the Mr. Silvers if we should sink it, but take these items. And the men that are here.
Yeah, Dutch would make sure a few men hop to it and start working on getting that food, and probably the cannons too, if possible. That'll take a while, but he'll start them getting working on one at least. Or is there only one that's in pristine condition? Is that
The cannons that they have, there's 3 that are in decent
3?
shape. Yeah.
So yeah, he'll make sure they're complying with Dom's requests.
No problem.
Silvers will yell to Ronald. Ronald, get up here, lad. You're on slaving duty.
Do any of you guys speak the Carib language?
I rolled for it before, and it's an unknown language now.
Okay.
Wasn't that a different one? That tribe we encountered in the jungle? Or is it the same?
It's the same language.
Oh, no.
Okay. You've all rolled for it before.
Yeah.
Nobody speaks it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
they try to say something to you, but obviously you can't understand them. And they don't seem to understand you either. Not verbally, anyway.
Now, how big is
Ronald
our
wants-
brig, Ian?
Do we have one?
You do, however, this is not a very large ship. I'd say it has room for about 6 people.
What if we overcramp them in inhumane condition?
12.
I mean, are you talking about like slave ship style, piling them up on top of each other? You could fit them all in.
Okay, let's do it. Ronald, get about it, lad.
So he wants him to hurt them in the brig, yeah? Okay. So he shoots them down below. And when he passes Dom, do you need to take note of everyone, or can I just put them into the brig?
I've already made note of them. You can do what you will with them. They're just extra mouths to feed. Waste of our supplies.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah. He shoves them all into that little room.
Pile them all up into the cave.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Really bad. They're complaining, although you can't understand what they're saying. But yeah, they're literally like piled up on top of each other. Pretty much. I mean, they squeeze in like kind of sardines, I say, and they can't like really even sit down or stand up, or move or anything. They're.
Yeah. When he closes the door, he looks around for a bottle of rum. There is one, I guess. They are lying all around, I think. And he puts one of the bottles through the. Is it a room? Is it a door?
No, it's a cage.
Okay, so he.
Several iron bars thick,
Yeah.
thick frame.
he shoves the bottle between the bars to them so they can drink them senseless.
Yeah. It is, just to check this here. Let me see here. The brig. Trying to make sure I get the right spot.
I can just see through the back of the page. It looks like a pretty cool diagram there. Ship schematics.
Oh yeah. Now this is a much larger ship than yours, but it gives me a basic layout and some ideas. And I use it for a hit location chart. Damn, I can't actually find the brig on here. I know it's on here because I remember.
It's got to be right at the bottom.
I remember cannon shots taking it out in the past. Yeah, but anyway, I would say it's probably in the deck below the gun deck, so the lower deck where the hold is and stuff. So it's pretty bad anyway. There's no windows or anything like that. Unless you keep a lantern or something lit for them, they'll be trapped in the dark there. Yeah, it's right there. There it is. I was looking right at it the whole time. Didn't even. Actually, according to this one, it's actually on this ship. It was actually on the battle deck. That's fine. That works for me.
There'd be some vermin there to keep. They could eat them and stuff.
Close to my cannons.
Yep.
Oh no.
To the back of the ship.
Yeah. So once we get everything off the ship, I'll say, torch the ship, pursue in the last direction we saw that other ship going.
Okay.
Dutch personally throws the wick over that catches the ship aflame. And he then has the men get back to the rigging to set sail.
Okay. Okay, now this time go ahead and roll another seamanship check, but this time roll at disadvantage. Roll it twice and take the lower result.
Ooh, 4, so still got a +3, so 7.
Yep, you're still able to pursue them and to start to gain on them. However, it is starting to get dark. You're not sure if you're going to be able to catch them before dark.
We're losing the light silvers, as he'll call out from the helm.
We might be the devil's son, but push forward. We're going to get him.
And crack to it, men. And as they're already up in the rigging, setting out, and we'll try to catch more wind here.
Mm-hmm. Clay, do you want to go ahead and roll another d6 for me?
Okay. 3.
Okay, and roll one more, please.
3.
Okay. So as you're pursuing it and it's starting to get dark, the rain lets up. It stops raining. Still cloudy, but it's drier. Drier, as dry as it can be on sea. There's no rain falling from the sky anyway. And you're beginning to gain on the ship. It does go dark then, but you're close enough. You're going to be able to pursue them. It'll take you a while to catch up with them, but you'll be able to do so. What do you want to do when you get closer to them? What's your orders?
Fire the long nines.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, sir, I'll bring the guns around. And he'll pipe on the whistle again and also bring starboard in for a shot.
Starboard, okay. Ronald?
Mm-hmm. He shoots when possible and screams, "Don't waste that many cannonballs. I have to explain every single misfire to Dom." 12, 6, 9, 13. 13.
3 hits.
Mm-hmm. 6. Oh, 6. 14.
6, 14 total. Okay.
Mhm.
This one was undamaged, so... Oops, I fucked that up. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's very badly damaged. And they throw up the white flag as well.
Prepare to board. Dom, I need you again.
He takes a deep breath and he goes back up. Yes, sir.
They don't even get a chance to return fire. They just surrender immediately. Similar situation to before, only this time there's only about 13 of the natives surviving on the ship. So you can see what remains of many of the bodies. There was 50 men on the ship, but your shots took care of a lot of them and did some severe damage to the ship itself. The mast is damaged. It's not split yet, but it's got a good crack in it. The sails are badly damaged. Yeah. You will find another 20 rifles, some powder and shot. Very similar layout to what the other one had, pretty much the same exact stuff, just with less men surviving.
We've already taken some prisoners. I think we've done our good deed for the day.
We could, Dom looks at Silvers and Dutch, we could keep the ship and just tow it and then tie up the men that we've captured and put them in that as we tow them. It's awful smelly near my office. Yes.
Aye, that's what we will do. Prepare to tow the ship.
Excellent, sir.
May I request removing the other 12?
20.
The other 20 that we have in the hold? It's a very, and he walks away with his pen, or his quill and his scroll.
I think...
Might they have some kind of brig on their ship?
No, it's just a raiding canoe kind of thing,
Gotcha.
I'm going to tell it to Dom. Dom seems to be a pretty good judge of value, I'll say. Figure out a way to test him. Keep the most intelligent one. Perhaps we can teach him our language and then use him as a translator.
Okay. You only get 2 cannons off of their ship. Two decent cannons off of their ship. Let's give this captive native a name, shall we? Anybody want to name him?
Quick tick.
Anyone want to give him a less racist name?
Because we don't know any better, it should be something like...
What a swab. Isn't that the joke name from Captain Ron, the movie? Or swab?
Well, what do their names generally sound like?
That's a good question, actually. That's something I never looked up.
Or maybe if he already speaks English, he has like an English name, like James or something.
Yeah.
Like from working with the colonies or something.
Okay, here we go. List of indigenous names. Oh wait, is this the tribal names? Yeah. Okay.
What was the name of the native in Moby Dick? It wasn't.
Oh,
Queequeg?
was it?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Queequeg.
I don't know. It sounds a lot like Triptych to me.
That's what I was just thinking.
I'll be waiting for your guys' apology.
Okay.
It's literature, man.
Okay, so you want to call him, what'd you call it? Click Trip or?
No, Friday, like in Robinson Crusoe.
You guys can name him whatever you want. And actually, let me see here. Yeah, Silvers, it was your idea. You roll D6 for me. Tell you whether or not he already speaks some English or not. Because you can't understand what he's saying anyway. So you want to call him Triptych or whatever, if you can.
We'll let Dom
What
name
was it?
him.
Cryptic?
And Dom can teach him. He's got time.
You're going to let Dom name him?
He's gonna be the one writing him down his property, so.
He gives him a he'll give him a number, 1, 2, 3, a cost. That's it. He doesn't. We're selling him off. I think this man will do this. That's it. He doesn't get personal with property.
Let's call him number one.
There you go. Or you can call him A or B. Doesn't want to waste parchment. Everything is quick writing.
Number one works. So he is your native translator who does not speak any of your languages yet, but we'll work on that.
Does any of the crew
So who's
speak?
going to teach him English?
Does any of the crew speak the native tongue?
No.
We can just hope he learns by immersion. It works for all sorts of schools.
Okay. You're just going to assign some random pirate on your ship to try and teach him English?
Dom will take it responsibility for him.
Okay. Cool. Very good. I've written him down along with Dobbs and Jackson. Okay. So it's nighttime. Silvers, you've been summoned to the captain's quarters. A messenger comes out to you, like basically an errand boy. He's like the youngest guy on the ship. He's probably like 13 or something. He comes out and says, Mr. Silvers, the captain wants to speak to you.
Aye, lad, I'm coming.
Okay. And you go into the quarters, you see the captain. He's not even gotten out of bed. He's actually still in the bed. He doesn't look very well. He's sweating. He's got his arm like wrapped up in his blanket, his right arm, the one that's been growing. And the claw is just resting on top of it. And he looks at you and he says, Silvers. And his voice is kind of weak. He says, what's with all the cannon fire? What's the status?
Just some natives, my captain. We made out a little better than we took.
Natives. Any good sailors?
Doubtful. We do have one, though, that I think will make a translator. Might make our job easier in the future.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We need to grow the crew if we're going to take a larger ship.
Perhaps I can have Dutch look over some of these natives and see if he can take a couple of them and use them.
Very good. I need some rest. Hopefully I can return to the deck tomorrow.
Aye, Captain.
Very well.
Makes the sign of the claw, and he turns and walks away.
Okay. Then the rest of that night will pass relatively easily. Mr. Dom. What's Dom's last name again?
Depends on who he speaks to.
Okay, wasn't
If
sure.
he speaks to someone of nobility, he'll make a long-running Spanish name. If not, it's just Dominic.
Dominic.
Didn't know his mom or dad.
Okay, so Mr. Dominic, please roll me a d6.
Ian, I am going to be feeding. I'll be taking care of this guy. I'll be treating him like royalty to make him happy.
Okay.
I'll be marking it down, but I'm also going to try to learn his language.
Okay.
D6. 4.
Okay. So the next day, as the sun comes up, the sun actually peeks through the clouds a bit. It's what we would call a partly cloudy day or partly sunny day, depending on how optimistic you are. No rainfall. You are continuing on through these smaller islands. You're now definitely north of Cuba, and continue to the northwest. Roll another d6 for me, please, there, Clay.
1.
Okay. And then roll me 2 more d6s and just tell me the result on each one in order.
3 and 6.
Okay. So then, for the day, pretty much, you encounter nothing of any note. As it starts to get into the late afternoon, early evening, the clouds start to come in a bit heavier again, and the sun is again obscured by clouds, and there's a threat of rain in the air. When the lookout calls out, sail ho, and I'll tell you what he sees. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Okay. Sail ho, and now I need to see how to roll odd or even. Okay. She looks like a Spanish bark.
That's
I
a
believe
big
she's
one?
taken notice of us and is turning in our direction. It's bigger than your ship.
It has 2 rows of guns, probably, right?
Let me see here. Whereas your ship maxes out at 10 cannon, a bark. Yeah, it can have up to 16 cannon. Still probably 1 row, but
Okay.
it could carry a few more men than yours. Oh, quite a few more men. It could carry up to 100 men, maximum capacity crew. It's a little bit slower, and in fact, come to think of it, let me just check this out here. It's actually quite a bit slower than your ship, and only slightly less maneuverable. But they seem to have taken notice of us, sir, and they're turning this direction.
Yeah, so I'm looking at him through the spyglass, and I'll say, not worth our time. Let's outrun her.
Roll d20 for me.
This is not modified.
Mm-hmm. Since you're looking through the spyglass.
Got an 11.
Okay, what's your wisdom?
Let's see. Wisdom is an 8.
Okay, cool. So you're going to just try to elude them?
Yes, sir.
You can definitely do so. Take you a little bit off course, but you can do that just to get away from them and not to engage. And that is then, what would you say, this is out of Tortuga, this is the 3rd night.
Still no hit points?
Are you still working on deck, or are you resting all day this day?
Well, if there's nothing to shoot, I guess
Then you rested
she'd
all day?
rest.
Okay,
If she's allowed to.
yeah, you get 1 hit point back.
Yeah.
What about the bosun?
It's whether or not Silvers gave me leave, because he would have been maybe doling out a few gut punches, if not told to arrest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Actually, Ronald was supposed to dole out gut punches to the cannon crew.
Shit. No! I have to rest.
I actually think word makes it back to me that you derelicted your duties of doling out the punishment. So Silvers will go, and he'll pull out a little black book and he'll write something down in it. But yeah, Dutch definitely had leave.
Okay.
Awesome. So would I get 1?
Yes, you would.
Cool.
Now, Dom, please make a languages roll for me.
Languages. I got a 4.
A 4? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're struggling to try and communicate with number 1. You get gestures and stuff to some extent. You're kind of developing somewhat of an understanding between you guys of certain hand gestures and stuff. But the words, it's only been a day anyway. But you're not really making much progress yet.
That's fine. Dom will keep babying this guy. I mean, he's hungry, feeds him, clothes him.
Mm-hmm. You got all the other natives are on the ship that you're towing? Wait a minute. You're towing another ship.
Uh-oh.
It's not a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just, if they're gaining on us, we'll just cut them loose.
Let's roll to find out if that becomes necessary. You're on deck now, Mr. Silvers, so yeah, this is going to be pretty hard for you to fail. Go ahead and roll a seamanship for me.
Okay. I got an 11. 6 plus 5.
Yes, no problem at all. No problem at all.
So, yeah, I'm at the wheel. I'm just slowly palming it and whistling.
You're pulling away from them almost as if they were stopped. Nice. Nicely done. Okay, yep, so you can elude that ship without any difficulty. Dom, if you would please roll me a 2d6 and just give me the individual numbers for the next day. Nope, you're muted, Clay, just in case you...
Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, why don't you roll 2 more d6 for me and give me the individual numbers.
1 and a 3.
Okay, the next day it's storming. Roll d20 for me, Clay.
Okay, grab a d20. 1 second. 2.
A 2? Okay. It's not, not a real dangerous storm, but it's pretty bad to the point that it slows you down. And again, similar to the first day, but even a little bit worse. There's actual kind of like lightning, thunder, and stuff, etc. So that's going to slow you down a bit on your pursuit into the Bahamas. Oh my. A lookout will say, as it's approaching the midday, he'll call out, "Sail ho!"
Is it okay if I do something really quick before midday, Ian?
Yeah, what would you want to do?
I'm going to send the messenger boy to retrieve Ronald and to meet me at the stairs to the upper deck.
Sure.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Mr.
Thumbs
Ronald,
up.
sir. Wait, did you give a last name, Ronald?
Applebaum.
Applebaum. Mr. Apple. Mr. Apple, the first mate would like to see you at the stairs leading up to the deck.
Did he say what he wants?
No, sir, but he didn't look very happy.
She's grabbed the dice. I'll grab it. I'm Randy's text. I'm going to be leaving.
No, sir, but he didn't look very happy.
Well then, and he follows the, what's his name?
Oh, I gotta give this boy a name. We're gonna call this boy, this is the cabin boy, yeah, basically. His name is Davy.
Davy. Okay. Will he become Davy Jones?
No, his name is actually John Davies, but everybody just calls him Davy.
So when I see Davy approaching me, I'll take out a silver piece of 8 and I'll hand it to the boy and ruffle the hair on his head and say, "Good lad, now run off."
He does. He goes back to check on the captain.
So I'll look at Ronald as she approaches, as I know, and I'll have like a little bit of that yellow fire in my eyes, and I'll say, "I was looking out the other day when I started thinking, I gave you an order to punish those men that failed shooting those cannons, and you never did it, did you?"
No, I didn't, but I must admit, I just forgot. Just look at me, and she pulls up her shirt, showing the bullet holes.
He'll hand wave it and he'll say, "No explanation necessary. But
Kill
we're going
her.
Shut
to
up!
Kill her.
Shut up.
I'll say to the voice, I'll say, "You're not completely wrong." And from my side, I'll pull out my pistol, and I'll look at it, and then I'll turn it around and I'll hand it to you, and I'll say, "Instead of giving a man a beating, you're now going to go shoot him. and it's going to be your fault. He dies because you disobeyed an order.
If that is what you want, but then we're one man down.
We are, and the crew will know it was because of your incompetence. Now go, shoot one of them, and I'll hand you the pistol.
Well, being absolutely fearless now, she doesn't really care.
And the demon voice will come again, Mr. Silvers, from within you, and say, "You should punish her. You are showing weakness."
You do not know the way of people, demon. Sometimes making them do something they don't want to do is punishment enough.
You should give her to the crew.
Does she hear that?
If you're still standing near him, it depends on how fast you walked away with the pistol.
Well, she won't run.
Give her to the crew. It will be good for morale.
Give her to the crew. Perhaps I'll give you to that cup at Dagon, and we'll see what happens then.
Yes, I dare you.
You wouldn't be daring the devil now, would you?
I am the devil.
You're a demon. I am a devil.
Your hubris will be your downfall.
Who's living and who now? I think who's the lesser being is quite apparent.
You shall see. You shall see.
Silvers, you should choose another pet. And she turns around and goes below deck. Or where are the men now?
Well, you're not in battle, so there's probably a couple of them doing maintenance on the guns. They'd have to be daily maintained. So there'd be some on the gun deck doing that kind of stuff. Others might be resting, would be on their sleeping shift. Some might be on the deck doing menial jobs, swabbing the deck, etc. So it's up to you.
Is there one she particularly doesn't like?
Well, I will give you the agency to tell me. What do you think?
Well, there's probably one who stared at her, who was suspicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Using this as an opportunity to get rid of a potential threat, huh?
Yeah. And she shoves them to the midst of the deck, of the upper deck. And well, she actually shouts, "Well, I've been punished, and following Silver's orders, he has to be shot." And she pulls the trigger to blow his head away.
Okay, you don't have to roll. He's just like, what? His jaw kind of drops and he looks at you and you put the gun up to his face and pull the trigger. Freaking brain spray out the back of his head. He's got like a hole like that size in his face and a hole like that big in the back of his head.
And she doesn't wait for him to fall to the ground. She goes back to Silvers, hands him the gun, and she whispers, "You've done me a favor."
And Silvers, when you shoot the man, Silvers will say, "Let it be known, she was given an order and she failed it. So now you pay."
She?
Or I guess he. Oh. I say he. He was given an order and he failed it.
And the demon voice will boom again, within you and say, "Perhaps you may be weak, but perhaps she is not."
And I'll say, just talking over the demon, not even caring, "That is why a man died, is because he disregarded an order." And I'll look at Ronald and I'll say, "But it won't happen again, will it, Ronald? Because you like your men. You don't want to keep killing them for your incompetence."
"No, I won't."
And I say, "Good." And I take the pistol.
Well, Mr. Silvers is a real tyrant. I like him. I have a thing for tyrants, though. Okay, so then, as it's approaching midday, You hear the lookout, and it's storming. The ship's being tossed about pretty heavily on the waves, so anybody who's off shift trying to sleep is probably rather uncomfortable. The cabin boy has been in the captain's quarters trying to look after him as best as possible. And you hear the call out, "Sail ho!" on the western horizon, point.
Yep, I'll come running up and pull the spyglass and look.
"Looks like a big one, sir." And you see what looks like the biggest ship you've ever seen. And it is coming in your direction at full sails, seemingly undisturbed by the storm. Sorry.
Now, it's moving at the speed where I'm going to look at it and think we're not going to outrun it.
You're not sure. It's a pretty big ship. You, in theory, should be able to outrun and outmaneuver it if you turn and flee. If you continue on your present course, it will definitely be able to get within cannon range. And that ship looks massive. You can't see because it's heading straight for you, so you can't see how many cannons it has, but it's big.
I shout, "Cut the boat we're towing! Give me the wheel!" And yeah, we're gonna try to fucking get away from here.
Okay. Sir, it's flying pirate colors, sir. Wait, no, it has two flags. It's the Cross of St. George. She's flying an English flag and a skull and crossbones, sir.
Now, lore-wise, we'd know what it is, right?
You could have a suspicion, yes, if you remember the rumors from Tortuga.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout, "We're getting out of here. We're not gonna take this ship on." What's the status on that cut tow ship?
She's cut free, sir.
All right. All able men to the deck. We're getting out of here.
Okay, roll. At disadvantage, a seamanship check, please.
Even at a disadvantage, I got a 10. I got a 6 and a
Nice.
5.
Okay. It's hard going, and it takes you completely off course because you have to basically nearly turn around the opposite direction. But you're able to, after probably, we'll give it a couple of hours, you think you've lost it, can no longer see it.
Yeah, that's when I'm gonna call a meeting of the crew heads.
Yeah, Dutch would have been roused from his hammock when all able-bodied men were called. So yeah, he's right there.
Okay.
Dom will show.
Yeah, Ronald too. What is it?
That ship that chased us for over a couple hours. They look suspicious to you.
Well, of course, it had two flags.
Yes, the men spoke of the flag of England and the skull and crossbones.
What does it mean?
Yes, and I'll look at Dutch because I know Dutch knows a little bit about superstition, I think, and I'll say, "Did you hear, pray tell, anyone speak of such a thing in Tortuga?"
Oh, people talk about all sorts of things when they're deep in the cups. And out of character, I don't recall if I did. I remember stuff about, the sugar man that I mentioned in the intro, who had a bunch of workers who might try. But yeah, Dutch is just racking his brain is all that's going on there.
There was a story about a particular man named Abraham Blackthorne who was terrorizing any non-English ships in the Bahama Isles. Uh, the rumors that you heard were that his crew was unhuman, and that the man himself was a vampire. His ship is named Aurelia's Cruelty. It only attacks at night, and seeing it during the day is an ill omen of impending doom.
And remembering that, Dutch would probably gulp, and from nowhere, he'd just be holding a bottle of rum, and he'd speak of it and say, well, indeed, upon thinking about it, I do recall it is one of the worst things a seaman could see during the day is possibly sight this Aurelius ship. I'm sorry, what was the full name?
Aurelia's Cruelty, and Aurelia is the Queen of England, the Witch Queen of England.
And he'll say, yeah, Aurelia's Cruelty, and he'll take a drain from the bottle.
Now, when we had flags made back in Tortuga, what were their colors? Did we have an English flag?
Yes, you got an
We
English
have
flag.
everything now.
Yeah,
Everything
So-
was
you got
important.
one of each.
And
So
a
I'll
really
say-
nice dress.
I'll say to Dutch, I remember the tale too, and it gives me an idea. Perhaps we should change our flags and fly the English flag. And if the story's true, it'll leave us alone.
But Ronald is extremely excited immediately as he hears the story and says, but imagine what treasures she might be carrying.
The ship had to have at least been 2 times, 3 times, 4 times the size of ours. Do we want to risk oblivion to find out?
The
We
rules
have to be
state
resourceful.
the rules state the higher the risk, the higher the reward. But we don't have to be stupid about it.
What's a middle solution?
Well, we've outran it, so I don't think it'll chase us, unless it's already on our tail.
But we could easily run the British flag for now.
Good idea. And if it comes for us, we can always try to parley first and then kill the captain.
Perhaps we go in with the British flag sailing and ask for a meeting with this captain.
Shall I run the flag up now, sir?
Do we have any paint on the ship?
Sure, why not?
I want to. Okay, so I'm going to say to Dutch. Oh, it actually would be a job for Dutch and Dom both. I'm going to say, all right, here's my plan. Let's gather a small detail of men. Have them go down the sides of the ship and make a few cosmetic changes. A dab of paint here, a removed piece of trim there. We want the ship to look slightly different than the way they saw it before.
Very well. I think it could be easily done. We could paint over the name Silver Devil as well.
Yes, we should give it a new name. What would be an English name?
The Scurvy Maiden always works.
Mist of the Isles, sir.
Mist of the Isles. It's a fine name. Let's do it.
Very well. And Dutch would he'd have a mook take the flag up, but he'll go down below and search out some paint for a little while. See if he can find white paint. Fancy it up.
You get your crew of men together, to do the job.
Yep.
One of them will say, kind of under his breath, but loud enough for you to hear it. He says, I don't like it. It's an ill omen. It's bad luck to change the name of a ship at sea.
Did he say that within earshot of Dutch?
No, that's why you're looking for paint.
Okay.
Only Dom heard it.
Oh, Dom heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Dom will approach him. He has that sly, slick weasel look on his face. Mutineers are killed, yes? Don't speak ill of the wishes of our current captain.
I didn't say anything about a mutiny, sir.
Ill
Just
omens
bad
would
luck,
put...
I'm saying. It's almost as bad as having a woman on board.
Yes, yes. Though that would solve a few problems, but you should keep your turmoiled issues to yourself. I would hate to see something ill, and he'll kind of throw his hip out there with his pistol, happen to you like what happened to poor Jovan yesterday, when Ronald had to shoot him in the head.
All right,
It would
sir.
be such a waste. You've been trained. I wouldn't want to waste that training. And he looks at him dead in the eyes. I'd never like to lose any money.
Aye, sir. Begging your pardon, sir.
Very good. He'll pat him on the back. If you have any trouble, I'm here to help. He'll smile evilly and walk away.
Okay. So you find your paint then, Dutch. Get gathered up, and Dom's got a team assembled. Now, what are you doing about your heading during all this, Mr. Silvers? You're currently kind of heading back towards like Tortuga direction.
Until the flag is up and the ship has been redetailed, I'm going to continue away from the chasing ship.
Okay.
Opposite heading.
Micah, why don't you go ahead and roll me 2d6 and tell me the numbers in the order that you roll them.
3, 5.
Okay. So the weather lets up and the storm kind of passes. It's still cloudy, but it's not raining. The rain stops, the thunder and lightning stop, and it's kind of coming into the late afternoon, early evening by the time they've done the paint job on the ship.
Okay. Once again, the crew leaders will convene. And this time, Silvers is going to say, now we run into a bit of a problem. Who among us can pass for an Englishman?
I suppose I could until I start talking. Big accent.
Ronald is Dutch.
You certainly have some Englishmen amongst your crew of pirates.
Dutch might remember that he's pretty sure Dobbs and Jackson, two slightly better shots, they were almost certainly British.
Mm-hmm.
He resented the fact that they were better shots than him.
But can we trust them to choose the right words if they are addressed?
If they shoot their mouth like
I'll
they
tell you
shoot
right
their
now.
rifles.
Dobbs has an intelligence of 15.
Oh,
Jackson has an intelligence of 14. They're both quite intelligent.
why
Must be
aren't they captain?
Must be that English education. I don't know. Maybe they're too smart. They know better.
Because they don't have a claw. It's a claw that makes a man a captain.
Yeah, true. Or a demon.
Yeah, I think Mr. Silvers is perpetual first mate. I don't think he's ever captain. But yeah,
Bound by demonic pact to keep the captain where he is.
yeah, I can't exactly do any representing of the crew either because of the demon inside of me. So yeah, I'll agree. Dobbs and Jackson. Sounds like there'll be our men. So what's our goal here? Get access to the ship?
That would work.
Sorry, Clay. That was funny.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
My little one's here.
It's all good. It's all good.
Cool.
What was the question?
Actually, this is a good question. This is a good question for Dom. What would be a supply that would require us to come aboard to retrieve it, Dom? Something we can ask for.
Food or water would work.
food and water.
Or we could,
present these native criminals.
That too.
You've let them loose.
Yeah, we've lost all of them except our translator.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, you cut that ship loose. Oh, speaking of which, Dom, give me another.
In the 20 in the brig or whatever, but no, if they were all in there, perfect.
You remove them from the brig and put them all into that ship, yeah. Dom was complaining about the smell.
Yes, it was quite bad.
And the waste of food and drink as well. So you probably didn't give them very much. They were probably in pretty poor conditions over there on that other ship being towed.
Enough to keep them awake.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to brief Dobbs and Jackson?
Yeah, we can bring them into light if Silvers wants.
Yeah, we'll need to brief them for sure.
If we would pull up next to that ship, would it be possible to shoot the staircase? So the men are locked down below deck, if necessary.
Not likely. You're pretty sure from the size of that ship you saw, Mr. Silvers, that if you were to pull up alongside that ship, you would be dwarfed in comparison. In fact, in order to board that ship, you're probably going to be needing to use like rope ladders or grappling hooks or something, because you wouldn't even be. It's such a height advantage. You wouldn't be able to use a ramp across.
Silvers will say, "I appreciate your bloodlust, Ronald, but I don't think it's going to happen."
But what's our goal then? We have to go for their captain then.
Once we get on the ship, we have our two emissaries here take a look around. And if there's anything worth stealing, then we can try to go from there, I guess.
Okay.
We could, once they lower the rope ladders, we could just try to fully board and take it to them in a ground fight.
We could put it to them that we just sunk the Silver Devil that was pulling that Indian war canoe. Isn't there quite a reward for the crew of the Silver Devil?
We could have, I like that, we could have Dobbs and Jackson here take us, the senior officers aboard, as prisoners. Only we aren't prisoners, then we turn on them.
Dutch is nodding.
It's like the most suicidal, dangerous thing we could do.
You hear...
What do you make of this, Mr. Dobbs? Mr. Dom?
It's a good idea, unless this creature or captain is a vampire. Then it might be. We don't have any good. Bunch of the legends. And he recites a few things. That's not right. That's not right. We could offer him gold. We could get some barrels of shot, put some gold or silver across it, and offer it to him as a bribe.
To get what?
To blow him and some of his guys up.
Oh.
Suicide is not very profitable.
Our two best shots, it's like woe be to our crew. Our two best shots are also our emissaries. Who will detonate this barrel?
Put someone in the crow's nest. Maybe Dutch.
I could try to make that shot.
I like this plan. But what happens if you miss, and then the jig is up? At that point, do we run, or do we try to board?
I would say we board.
Yes, you need not ask me. We press is my vote.
All right. It is likely, then, that this may be the last time we all see each other alive. It's been a pleasure serving with you. And I'll start directing the ship back towards the ghost ship.
Oh, you're muted, Ian.
Yeah, it'll go fully dark as you do so, and you reach into the night. And a fog kind of settles in. Really thick fog. And you're forced even to reduce your speed a little bit just in order to not endanger yourselves of colliding with anything, you know what I mean, in the fog. Say you should come up on, some shoals or, anything of that sort, any shallows. You don't want to accidentally run aground or anything else of that sort. So you slow down your speed and you begin to kind of crawl along through this fog. And it starts to rain again as well. And the fog is lifted a bit in the morning as the rain continues. And you hear distant thunder. And you hear a call from the lookout in the morning. He says, "Smoke! Smoke on the horizon." And you hear amongst the rumbling of the thunder, you hear a couple of other rumbles that sound like explosions. "It's a ship, sir. She's burning."
Yeah, so Mr. Silvers will yell, "Smoke on the water and fire in their eyes." Come on, come on, lads. And I'll say, "Out of the crow's nest. Me and Dutch are coming up." And I'll look at Dutch and say, "2 rifles are better than 1. Double our chances. Come on, let's go."
And Dutch is right behind you carrying both our rifles. Our arquebuses.
Dom will pass Ronald and say, "You know why they're both going up there, don't you?"
Yes.
So when this plan goes to shit, that they can just fall with the mast and swim away with the debris that our ship becomes.
Oh, that's
Touches
smart.
his forehead and walks away.
Ronald laughs.
"It looks like a large merchantman, sir. She's sitting pretty low in the water, so she's probably got a full hold. Her boats are off. I can see them rowing away. Looks like they've abandoned the ship."
All right. Once me and Dutch get up there, I want to spyglass it and see if I see any trace of the large black ship.
You don't. The smoke is getting pretty thick, though. This other ship is burning pretty bad. And every once in a while you hear a kind of a rumble as, another powder barrel goes up or something. It is a large merchantman. You do see an English flag on it. The direction that it's kind of facing, anyway, it looks like it was probably en route to Jamaica.
All right, I'll yell orders down. One of the other crewmen has taken the wheel now, and I'll say, "Intercept course with the ship. Dead ahead. Pull up next to it. We board. Take what we can before she goes down."
Okay. Gonna pull on up alongside of it.
Yup.
Okay. You can do so, and as you do so, the smoke gets really thick. As you get closer to it, because the ship itself is on fire. The masts are all on fire. The sails are burning.
Does it look like they did that to themselves? So one barrel exploded and the next are following, or does it look like there has been some fight?
Good question. You don't see any sign of cannon blast holes in the side of the ship. Doesn't look like she's been in a fight.
Okay.
The smoke's thick enough now too as you pull up alongside. The rowboats are well out of sight because your range of vision is so short anyway. And it is considerably larger than your ship as well. One of these things can hold up to 125 men. It's more than double your size in that sense, and it can hold like 6 times as much cargo as you can, I believe. Yeah, nearly. It's a big, big boat meant for hauling lots of goods. Um, so, you can use the ramps, but, you'll be at a steep incline to get over it.
All right. I'm going to yell my boarding orders, and I'm going to say, Dobbs, take the wheel. You're in charge of the ship till we return. And
Aye,
me
sir.
and Dom and Dutch and Ronald and half of the men are going over.
Okay. How many men do you have left now? You've killed another one. So, you had 36, you now have 34.
We did gain a translator in training.
That's true. So you have 35. So you're taking over what, 17 or 18?
We'll say 17. We'll take over 17 men.
And you and Dutch and Ronald? And Dom?
And Dom, I need someone to appraise what we need to take.
Okay.
Yeah, Dutch will whip down on a free line from the crow's nest. Try and swing down to the deck.
Well, this ship's... Okay, from the crow's nest? Yeah, you could probably do something like that. Why not? I'll let it slide. Sounds cool.
I'll roll climb if you want.
No.
Do
I
a plus 3 then.
don't want to run the risk of you falling and breaking your leg. You can straight. It sounds cool. I'll let you do it. And you guys take your men over. And yeah, she's burning pretty good. You're not going to have a lot of time.
I'll look at Dom and I'll say,
The boats are all away.
take most of the men, go down below to the hold, see if there's anything of value. Dom, or Dutch and Ronald, come with me to the cabin.
Dutch is right there with his pistols out, ready to follow you.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Yep. You guys go to the cabin. The door seems to be locked.
Oh, damn it. I'll try to open it.
Dutch delivers a bullet to the lock.
Bam.
Want me to
That's
roll
faster.
for misfire?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Got an 8.
No misfire. So yeah, you blast the lock off and the door flies open. You go in, you can see it looks like the room has been kind of hastily ransacked in a sense, like they packed their shit up and left. You find a few personal effects here and there. There's some maps left out on the desk. The rudder is gone, of course. They took that with them, but
All right, take all the maps,
Mm.
and I'll start taking anything that's parchment with writing and rolling it up.
okay. As you're doing that, what? Go ahead.
I searched the room for something hidden, maybe what the captain might have forgotten.
Okay.
Maybe a little
Roll a search check.
bit.
Dutch he'll just keep his gun in his hand, but he'll grab some loose papers with his because he sheathed his other pistol.
Okay. Yeah, Ronald, you do find a hidden compartment in the actual hull of the ship by the bed.
I open it.
You open it.
I try to.
There is a crystal decanter full of some kind of an amberish liquid. And there are 2 thick crystal glasses as well.
Whoa.
Now, if you want
Look
to
at that
write
silver.
this down, if you want to write this down, the decanter is worth 250 silver pieces, and the glasses are worth 50 silver pieces each.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Silvers will yell. Good job, Ronald. You found something good.
Do you want to pop the top off the decanter and see what the liquid is?
Yeah, really quick. But she's just holding her nose over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, liquor, strong. It's not rum.
Okay.
It smells like brandy.
She puts the stopper back in and puts everything in her bag,
Okay.
but carefully.
Mm-hmm. Dom, you're taking most of the men with you. Yeah, I think he had all the men with him, right? Because it was just the three of you that went to the cabin.
Yep,
So
all of them.
you got the 17 crew members with you. You open the door and run down to the hold,
Yep.
and the fire is spreading down to here. It's starting to kind of bits are dropping down from above and stuff, and things are starting to catch fire in here. And the entire hold is packed full of barrels.
We'll crack one open.
Odd or even? Oh no, actually that'd be the same. Yeah, you see lots of. It's kind of a mishmash of like shot, like musket shot or pistol shot, etc., and nails and all kinds of like little metal pieces and things of that sort. Yeah. Do you want to kind of dig deeper into it, or?
It's a mixture of shrapnel then, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did it look like it's intentional? It was hastily built, or?
Yeah, I mean it's a mess. It's not very well organized at all. It's not neatly tidied, put together.
How close is the fire to some of these barrels?
Some of the barrels are starting to catch fire.
We'll do a quick search and then I'll tell the men to leave.
Okay. A couple of men pop over there. Like, same here, sir. Same here. And another man is digging down and he says, "Oh, there's powder underneath the shrapnel, sir."
I'll yell out everybody to leave. Get off the boat now.
Okay.
We'll make that out and start heading up.
Mr. Silvers will... Oh, sorry.
Sorry?
I was going to say, if I hear him yell everybody out, Mr. Silvers will yell, "That's our cue."
No, you don't hear him yet because you guys are in the cabin doing your thing.
Hutch is stuffing loose papers into his shirt right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do I want to do this? Roll. Yeah, everybody roll d20 for me. That's yeah, all four of you can actually.
A 15.
11.
Oh, this might be bad. 18.
Okay.
18.
Did anybody roll under their wisdom?
Nope.
No, sir.
11.
11 on my wisdom.
Yes.
You rolled under your wisdom, Ron?
Yeah. Am I dead?
No.
Good.
No. But you hear sounds like faint, distant shouting. And as you're listening, you kind of perk your ears up. It sounds like it's coming from the Silver Devil.
Mist of the Isles.
Sorry.
Yeah. She puts her hand on the shoulder of Silver's and, do you hear that? Do you hear that? And she puts her head, or she sticks her head out of the room. I think I hear shouting.
All right, we're leaving. Let's return.
You hear then, a few moments later, as you're preparing to leave, you're probably just going over to the door and pushing it open. Around the same time, down, you and your crew are kind of coming up the stairs from below, from the hold. You hear the tearing of wood and the splintering of wood as all of the boarding planks seem to be tearing away from the ship and breaking off, and some of them are just dropping down, some are cracked, some are whatever. And you can see the mist of the Isles seems to be pulling away. And you hear a cacophony of cannon shots. 24 shots in total, if anybody's counting. But so, okay, so how many was that I just rolled? So 7 of them strike the Silver Devil, or Mist of the Isles, whatever you want to call it. And she takes 19 hull points of damage. Okay. She's badly damaged, and she is listing poorly as she's kind of still drifting away from the ship that you're on, which I never even gave it a name. I don't know. Maybe nobody even looked at the name. But and then the other 12 shots.
What?
24 shots in total. Ooh, 1 crit. Actually, only 5 of the 12 hit the ship you're on, but one of them was a critical hit. Well, a natural 20 anyway. Whether or not it's a critical depends on how I roll on the natural 20 chart, which I will do momentarily. The damage done is 5, 10, 16 hull points of damage, but the ship has a pretty decent sized hull, if I recall correctly. So, yeah. It's not quite crippling damage, but definitely the ship you're on is being shot at from an unseen foe at the moment. And the natural 20 result will be... Oh, shit. Okay. Means all of their allies have +2 to morale for this combat, so they're pumped up as they've just nearly sunk the Silver Devil in a single volley, and are now firing into this ship. Also, the critical hit location. Okay. Basically, the ladder area that leads from that leads to the forecastle decks, the forecastle, kind of the front part of the ship, is obliterated by a couple of cannon shots. So you won't be going to the forecastle, but none of you there anyway, because you were more towards the back where the captain's quarters are, the back, the poop deck area and stuff like that. So, okay, now, what do you want to do?
Run.
Run where?
I look for rocks.
Ooh.
There is still fog. Yes, we don't see
Smoke,
where.
actually.
Oh, smoke. Yeah.
Yeah, roll a
Hmm.
d20 for me, Andrew.
Got a 4.
No, you don't see any rocks, unfortunately. Curses, no rocks.
What about the metal from a cannon?
What about the metal from a cannon?
I mean, all metal is fragment of rock, right? It's mineral.
Are you trying to determine whether you can use rock speech on metal?
Yeah.
I don't think so, my friend.
Good one.
It's a good try, but it's
What
a
if he
big
just
try.
risks arcane whatever conundrum or whatever happens? no, I just.
Hmm.
He's running through his head right now. He's thinking suicide is probably a decent option.
You hear an explosion below decks that rocks the deck of the ship you're standing on, followed by a few seconds later another explosion.
Well, first thing would be to leave that ship and go back to ours before we explode with it.
Your ship is listing away because they tried to pull away when they saw the attacking ship approaching.
How far?
Can we even? I mean, our ship's realistically unsailable, right? It just took like 70 or like 90% of its hull points and damage.
Yeah.
So
Better
I don't
than
even know if
swimming.
going back. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. How far away are all those English ships at this point?
The English
went out?
rowboats,
Yeah.
far enough away you can't see them in the smoke.
And there's no land anywhere, right? Like no islands
Well,
on the horizon, anyways.
you know from your navigation that there should be some islands to the north of your location, which is the direction that those rowboats were headed.
But we do have a rowboat as well, don't we?
You have several on the
Yeah.
Silver Devil.
Dutch doesn't wear armor for a reason.
The Silver Devil is probably, I'm going to say, a couple hundred feet away from the large merchantman that you're on, which I'm going to say his name is English Pride.
Well, let's swim then.
You'll see come out of the smoke, just kind of, at first you just see like a large shape looming beyond the Silver Devil. And then you'll see it kind of grow as it comes closer. And it's the biggest goddamn ship you've ever seen.
Now, I'm kind of interested in suicide bombing the ship with all the shrapnel and everything loaded on this one. That's kind of what Silvers is thinking. Silvers is thinking, if I'm going to fucking go down, I'll take this entire ship with me. How far away is it?
Well, it's just now approaching the Silver Devil, so it's probably a few hundred feet away.
Okay.
All this while, I guess Dutch, he's got a moment. He's reloading his pistol, his second one.
So Silvers will say, well, my own plan is to stay behind with this ship and try to take theirs out. Any of you guys have some thoughts?
Sounds like a one-man plan.
He'll look at Dutch and say, Godspeed.
And Dutch will nod, and he'll take a few steps down towards like the edge of the water closest to the Silver Devil.
If I may, comes Dom, who's sleeking up. He's all wet. Why don't we just watch what occurs? We could try to grab some driftwood and then sneak aboard the big ship there, if they think we're dead. But he looks over at the Silver Devil. I have my money, except for what's in my pouch over on our ship. I do not want to come away empty-handed.
A couple more explosions rocked below the decks, just a few seconds apart.
Well, we should decide now.
You can see now that the ship has pulled right up alongside the Silver Devil, even kind of not ramming it, but kind of, like brushing up against it as it does so. And you see many men swinging on ropes and dropping, some of them maybe 20 feet or so onto the deck of the Silver Devil. And you can hear the shouts even from this, 200, it's probably 250, nearly 300 feet away now. But you can hear screams and shouts. And obviously, there's fighting going on board the Silver Devil. You think you even hear in the distance, "Claw!"
Dutch is going to actually stop reloading his pistol, toss both his pistols into the water on the deck, and throw away his powder horn too, as he's hearing these rumbling explosions down below.
The men are just looking at you, kind of in a panic, like, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We've got our ship. This one's done for." They're starting to panic.
Yeah, looking to the Mook Marine men, the 17 or however many we have. Yeah, I'd say best abandon this ship, boys, and going down to Davy Jones' locker. And they'll just push them for them if they want to.
Point in the direction that the English boats went and say, if you're a strong swimmer, you might try it.
Some of them are looking for anything, any kind of wood or something they can grab and throw overboard and jump down in. And yeah, they start abandoning ship.
And there's no lifeboats left, right? The crew already got them up.
Yeah. It was a big time booby trap. You see them, they drop their rifles and everything and just discard everything that they can. Probably just keeping their daggers as they jump over.
Dutch looks back to the crew heads, though. Says, but what shall
Why-
we do?
We wait.
What for? To explode?
Oh, we're going to leave, but we should wait, or at least try to get onto that ship.
Oh.
I do not want to die. I don't plan on dying.
The
They're
ship is, you see it's kind of turning, and you can hear a sickening crunching of wood and splintering of wood as it is turning to its port, to be your starboard as you're facing them. And you're pretty sure that the sounds of that splintering and cracking and crunching was probably the Silver Devil.
I say we swim over there.
And you just see Dutch disappear over the side of the ship, head first into the water.
Ronald follows. Shit.
How about you, boss? He'll turn to Silver.
It was fun serving with you, Dom, and I'll throw in my ring of Dagon in my coin purse, 226 silver.
I got a lot of mine too.
Drags him right to the bottom.
Guess we jump in and try to go over there. Try to grab some driftwood paddleboard over, but we'll try to make it. I'll try to make it over there.
Yep. Okay. You dive over. And you, Silver, so you're still staying on this ship as it's exploding and slowly burning and starting to sink.
How far is the other ship at this point?
At this point, it's actually starting to fade out of view in the smoke. I'd say it's probably about 350, nearly 400 feet away.
Oh, so it's not even gonna come over here.
No, it's turned. That's why it wasn't facing your direction. It's now turning away.
Ooh.
And at this point in time, in fact, it will open up another broadside.
Uh-huh.
This time, a full broadside simply at the ship you're on, so it'll be 24 cannons. It's a 48-gun ship.
It's firing on the merchant ship.
Yeah. This ship is quite impressive, by the way, as you see it. You've never seen one this big. It's an English ship of the line. 48 guns, holds, I think, 300 to 350 people comfortably.
And the Silver Devil, it's like going down, right?
But you can't see it. Okay, if you can imagine, you were approaching, like if you were facing out, you saw, here's the Silver Devil, and it's kind of trying to get away. And this ship kind of came up alongside of it. And then you saw the men swinging over and dropping onto the deck of the Silver Devil. You heard the clashing and the screaming for a couple of minutes as you thought it was coming in your direction, and then it started to turn into the Silver Devil. And that's when you heard all the crushing and crashing and splintering. And now it's basically turned its broadside to you, which would be its starboard side. And it's opening up a round of cannon fire, and it's going to continue to...
Awesome.
It's continuing to sail away from you, in fact.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to weather it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so out of the 24 cannons, 11 missed, so 13 hit. I don't have that many d10s here, do I? How many do I have? It's 11. D6 is not d10s, sorry. Oh, wow. 10, 20, 30, 43, plus 2 more d6s. 49 points of hull damage. Now, let me just double check the total hull points of the ship. Oh, yeah, this is going to be in the Lamentations Nautical Maritime Adventures, whatever it's called. So, okay, I'm just going to count as one of those. Okay, so that was 43 plus how many did it take before? It was like 19 or something? No, it was less than that. It was like 16. So that's 59. So it's taken well over half of its hit points and damage just from the cannons of the other ship, and it's also exploding from within. So it's starting to sink. It's still not completely destroyed yet, though. But it's getting pretty uncomfortable and pretty hot up here on the deck, Captain. It's getting harder and harder to find a space that's not on fire.
Yeah, so I'm basically gonna jump because there's no chance of them coming over to this one, so I'm swimming.
It doesn't look like, yeah. So you dive in. Now, Dutch, you had dove in, I think, with the idea of trying to swim towards the other ship.
Well, Dutch is considering, though, just swimming towards some larger floating debris as opposed to swimming, because he doesn't see the Silver Devil resisting the might of this, the largest ship he's ever seen.
Yeah, you said. Okay.
So
what about,
is there something he'd make a beeline for? Some floating?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm
or
not
even a barrel.
going to just drown you guys out here in the ocean. You can find something to grab onto.
And maybe though the Marines are probably thinking, I don't know what they're thinking. They're probably all doing the same thing though. Mob think.
Yep, they're all trying to find a way to survive. That's all they're trying to think about right now. What about you, Ronald? What are you doing?
Yeah, doing the same. Do we still don't see our ship?
Right now, you're in the water. You're looking for something to grab onto. You can just kind of barely see the rear silhouette now of the ship of the line as it's pulling away. You might even be able to see on the back in big red letters Aurelia's cruelty. You don't see any sign of the Silver Devil, but you see lots of wreckage about. Yeah, and you went in right behind Dutch, so I'd say you guys can grab onto the same piece if you want and stick together. Dom, what are you doing when you hit the water?
He'll start making his way over there. He doesn't think he can swim to the enemy ship, unless it's a possibility.
It's not, but you could certainly make a valiant effort at it if you want.
No, he's too calculating for that. He'll go towards the wreckage of his the Silver Devil, and he'll try to regroup with the others.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make sure that he's got that piece of driftwood under him. He doesn't want to drown with all the weight he's carrying.
Sure. And Silvers, you were several rounds behind them because you held out as long as you could, watching the ship turn, and you stood on the deck bravely as it unleashed an entire broadside into the ship and stood your ground until it started to get hot and you were running out of space to stand. So you want to describe what you do then when you jump overboard?
Yeah, I mean, Silvers is like an Olympian swimmer, so he's just gonna go straight to some wreckage and hide beneath it.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's a fucking genius, brilliant swimmer. You can swim right over to the same bit, and you see Dutch and Ronald on, and you can climb up there with them. You probably even save another one of the Marines along the way. You see Dom is continuing to swim beyond. You can see him swimming away there.
No, he's making up for the wreckage. He's not going to chase him. He's too smart.
No, I know you're making it for the wreckage of the.
Oh, the Silver Devil. Yeah,
which is still beyond. They're just grabbing onto bits of wreckage that have blown off of the merchantman, I presume. So.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. So you see Dom swimming towards the Silver Devil. It's gonna be a lot to count tonight. So yep, and that will be that for the time. So you're gonna manage to get onto this. Eventually, Dom, you're gonna reach the wreckage of Silver Devil. You'll find there are still some survivors from the Silver Devil, including number 1 and Davy.
Did the claw get a grip of anything?
And Jackson. You do not see Dobbs though. You don't see any sign of the captain. So out of as the smoke, the merchantman just continues to kind of explode from within, and just a few minutes later, it's almost completely sunk. It exacerbates quite quickly. When it starts to sink, it gets worse and worse very rapidly. So I assume you guys just kind of holding on to some wreckage and waiting it out for the smoke to kind of clear a little bit and see, just see anything. Okay, so you had a crew of 35 people, including those named. Okay, I'm going to do a little quick math.
Dutch would see that Simon's alive and say, glad you made it, sir. Long live Silvers. Long live the Claw. But maybe Blackthorn has recruited the Claw into his crew, and this is how he does things.
Yeah, Silvers is
Looks over
thinking.
the chaos.
Yeah. Maybe. Or maybe the captain's dead. Something we're going to have to take into consideration.
Indeed. A new captain possibly on a new day. Maybe when we have our legs to stand on, though. Shredding water probably or whatever.
So a few hours after all this has happened, you're able to kind of assess what remains. The four of you, of course, are there. As I said, you have Jackson, number one, and Davy are all accounted for. Davy will tell a harrowing story of the boarding crew that swung down off of the ropes from the enemy ship. He says they were like demons or devils. They were wearing, looked like human skin for clothing. They were feral. They were foaming at the mouth. They were covered in blood and gore. They have horrible. They've done horrible things to their bodies. You obviously you're all familiar, of course, with piercing and things of that sort. But these ones were just terrible. They had what sort of look for mutilated themselves essentially with their decorations, which seemed to be made of combinations of bone and steel. He says he saw one of them just tackle a man to the ground and bite his throat out and then continue eating his flesh even after the man was dead. He says he saw three of them grab the captain. The captain took one of them down, but the other two were able to subdue him and drag him over and took him aboard the enemy ship. All in all, you have yourselves, those three named characters, and 15 other sailors remaining. Nobody else is accounted for. You find several bodies floating in the water, and several others just completely missing. You do find plenty of wreckage and pieces from the Silver Devil, including the painted over nameplate. Maiden of the Sea, was it?
Yeah, something
Mist
like
of
that.
the Isles or something.
Mist of the Isles. What's the current condition of the lifeboats? Do we find lifeboats?
Very good question. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll. What's your worst stat?
Probably wisdom. Wisdom or charisma, they're both 8.
Okay, roll d20.
Okay. Got a 4.
Okay, you find one lifeboat.
All
It's
right.
upside down, but you managed to turn it over, and it's usable. It's got one oar. One of the oars is missing, but
I'll turn to Dutch because he's right beside me here, and I think Ronald, you're on the same piece of wreckage that we're on. I'll say, all right, we got to take this boat. We can only fit a couple more men on here. We got to go find Dom. I want my quartermaster.
how many men do you think would fit in one of those lifeboats? 10 or 12?
Yeah, just offhand, I'd say a dozen.
That seems
Comfortably.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I'll get in it and I'll pull my saber, which is like wet and waterlogged at this point, off my side with the intent of trying to kill any crewmen that try to get on.
And Dutch will like sort of nod, understanding, knowing what's going on, and he tossed his guns, but he's got his two blades on his hip, on either hip, ready for action.
Mark off any equipment that you've lost in the course of the battle.
Yeah, all he has is a shot bag now, I think, and the daggers. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that is it. And close, and bandanas.
Okay. So who are you going to take aboard the lifeboat? So you've got, obviously...
Are Dobbs and Jackson, either one of them, among the survivors?
No, you find Dobbs' body floating. His throat's cut, practically from ear to ear. And he's missing large chunks of flesh from his right arm. As if an animal had eaten part of him.
Now is Jackson alive?
Jackson is alive. So is number 1 and Davy.
Yeah, we want all 3 of those, and we want Dom on there.
By the time they get to Dom, he's going to try to salvage what he can on the main wreckage. Captain's hidden compartment, if I can get to the captain's quarters. Anything I can grab.
Roll a d20 for me. What's your worst stat?
Let me take a look at my character. Strength. That ain't good.
Roll a strength check for me.
5 out of 9.
You made it. So,
I thought you had to go over.
yeah, you can pick something of value or intrigue that you wanted to find floating amongst the wreckage.
He'll do his the silver he didn't take. I don't know any other valuables that we may have had. Actually, is there the hidden compartment in the captain's quarters? Is that empty? He'll go there, or try to go there.
The captain's quarters are
They're
non-existent.
gone.
The
He'll
ship-
find his own stuff. He'll find his his getaway bag.
Okay. Sure. It just happens to be fortuitously floating on a large piece of wood, kind of weighting it down in the water. Look at that, Dom. You found your money.
That's all he wanted. And now he looks like a rat defending his last piece of cheese.
So you got Silvers, Ronald. You're going to get Dom, Dutch. You got Jackson, number 1, and Davy. And you get 5 other unnamed sailors, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. The strongest, best looking.
And so that means that there's 10 left behind.
So where are we going, Captain?
I don't see we have much of a choice. Gotta go after those English boats that we saw on our way in. I think they're heading to land.
Rowing north.
I know we only have one boat, but if we drag along some driftwood with some others, maybe we can grab another body or two, or at least food for the sharks.
I look back at him. Is there a plank of wood or anything we could try to tow behind it?
Yeah. You could, let me see here. How many men could hold on to it? You could get about 5 men to hold on to it, you think, and you could probably pull it behind you without it sinking. However, it's going to be really slow going because you only have 1 oar, so you're going to be kind of doing the whole...
All right. Yeah,
Ronald leans over the side of the boat to find a piece of wood shaped like an oar, maybe?
Sure.
Or a long one, just to...
Yep, that's rather resourceful. You can do something like that.
Okay.
It won't be perfect, but it'll be better than nothing.
Mm.
Yeah, we're not going to take any men. I'm going to say
And
they'll
leave the
slow us
10
down too much. Yep. We'll risk that ship coming back and finishing us off.
Dutch will, as we start to slowly get away from the men clinging to their wreckage that we're leaving behind, he'll get the attention of one of them and toss them a bag. And that bag's got about 98 steel shot balls in it.
Okay.
That's it.
Put it back, babe.
Okay. I think that's going to be a good dramatic place to end this session.
It's really dramatic.
Cool.
What did you lose in the wreckage that you lament? Anything particular, Justin? You lost both your guns, I guess.
No. No, he was... Well, yeah, just the guns, but yeah, he's down to just clothes and the knives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess he did keep his all his silver and his hammock are right near it, so he's down to like no money.
Okay. So he's lost all of his money and his guns.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Ronald? What did you lose in the wreckage?
Her dress,
Ah, yes. Yes, gone.
her makeup kit, well, everything she kept on the ship. A water skin. I imagine she had her weapons with her and her
Yeah.
money.
More likely. You were boarding an enemy ship, so I'd say you'd brought your weapons with you.
Yeah.
Your money, it depends on how much money you're talking. How much money did you have?
355 silver pieces. That's a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah, well, that's about 7-8 pounds worth of coins.
Wow.
It would be up to
Oh.
Clay how much money Dom had been stealing from Dutchess.
Yeah.
That'd be up to Ian because, I have to take a little off the top of everybody,
A typical pouch holds about 50 coins. So,
Yeah, that's probably what she had with her.
okay.
Oh, that's a great loss. Shit. Oh, she lost 5 candles and a sack.
Okay. Dare I ask Dom what he lost at the wreckage? You got your money.
He lost anything. He lost probably all the goods he was storing away for a rainy day.
Mhm.
His bookkeeping is excellent.
The rum is gone.
That really upsets him. He's got his gold, he's got his weapons, so he just lost. He's ready to bail if this went any bad. So yeah, he found his bag. He's probably lost 50, 60 silver, and debts he probably paid off for the crew to have them owe him. Now those people are dead. He'll never get that back. So he'll bill that to silvers when he gets an opportunity.
Not that any of our characters know you have it, but do you still have that poison?
I do. That's in his getaway bag.
Cool.
Wait, Silvers, did you hand him your coin and your ring?
I handed him 226 silver and the ring.
Wow. And Silvers, anything special lost in the wreckage? Where do you keep your
I
spell?
would say it's on me. It's probably damaged, though. That's nothing, though. I lost a ship and a captain.
Well, as far as
You can always buy those.
I think the real tip for you is that if the captain's still alive, you have to try to help him.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the claw. But then again, I can't. It's almost better if I don't know. If I think he's dead, I'm basically free from my obligation until someone proves otherwise.
If only I knew someone who could give you the idea he might still be alive.
I'll just disagree with him. I'll just be like, yeah, I think he's dead. I mean, the ship sunk. I mean, I think he's dead. I think I'm free of my oath.
There's just 2 weeks of terrible nightmares, and I don't. It's all hogwash.
Because I mean, it's got to be like through will, I think, for me to violate the pact or whatever. Like I have to like not know.
Yeah.
Or know that what I've done is fucking him.
All right.
I'm much
You
more
get,
concerned
like-
though about the ship.
You get a bunch of experience for having your ship destroyed, right?
Well, experience.
At least a level.
Let's talk about treasure gained. Forget about treasure lost, but treasure gained. You found that decanter and glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll assign a total value to that. Okay.
You did. It was 250 for the decanter
Yeah.
and 50 for
Yeah.
the
So
per
300.
glass.
And I'll throw an extra 50 in for the golden liquid, the golden beverage inside. So let's say it's about 400 silver pieces worth of treasure
Oh.
there.
Good thing I didn't drink it.
Surely the loose leaf papers in Dutch's shirt, they're worth a pretty penny.
Absolutely.
But your butt will be clean.
Okay.
Maps
We
are
also had
expensive.
combat-wise, what did we have combat-wise? There was the fight with the war canoes. You defeated 2 of them. So I'm going to give, that much for those 2 crews that you defeated. All right, now let's also look at our, so let me split that out. This is between 4 of you. Okay, that's going to be, now, bonuses.
Dom did have rum and coke.
Okay,
this morning.
so we'll do you first, Dom. So for Dom, you've had your rum bonus. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to give you that. For contributing positively to the theme. Create something awesome within the game. Did you create anything awesome within the game? Anything cool you came up with? Yeah, you did. The whole thing with the bill that you're trying to give to Silvers and all of that. Okay. So
I do have that in triplicate, so just in case we lost it.
Your total XP is going to be 1,900 for the session there, Dom.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Silvers, you were drinking rum. Let's see now. Definitely contributing positive to the game's theme. What about something awesome? Anything awesome you introduced, created in this game session that pops to mind?
Created as in what? Like a physical object?
No, it could be anything. Physical object, a concept, a plot line.
I created Disguise the Ship,
Yeah. Cool.
which ultimately got us fucked, though. So I don't know if that was a good thing.
It creates something awesome. It's not necessarily good, but it's awesome.
It did. It made me the richest pirate here.
Yep. So you also get 1,900 experience points. Mike, I know you were drinking some rum. Let's see here. Definitely contributed positively to the theme. And did you anything that you introduced or created to the story or the game to?
I don't think so. No.
Anybody else think? Anything that
She lost her innocence of morality now that she's killing people with no thought about it.
Oh, yeah.
He's Silver's little assassin, you know.
She got rid of a guy who had suspicions about
That's
her.
true too. Okay, you could have 1,900 experience points. And Justin?
No rum, but I did the intro, or the recap.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
We did something wrong, by the way. Justin is still alive. We did the recap.
Did something wrong? Was he supposed to die if he did the recap?
Supposedly
Yeah.
that's a curse.
Oh, right, because
Or-
Troy did the recap before and died, yeah.
Or lose a limb.
And then Sean did the recap, and yeah, got
And
mauled.
for something awesome, I introduced the corporal punishment via gut punch.
Yeah.
And of course, I did swing across like a real swashbuckler
Yeah, cool.
onto the ship that was just
So it's
above.
unanimous. Everybody gets 1,900 experience points.
Wunderbar.
Sounds good. Sounds fair. I enjoyed the session, so thank you guys very much for playing and contributing to it and being good sports.
Awesome game.
It was.
Look forward to Sean returning. He won't be here for the next session either. Maybe the session after that. That remains to be seen. It might be a few sessions before he comes back, though. So All right. Thank you, anybody who watched, and will watch this in the future. And we'll do this again in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.